What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Many of you know that Dr. Boyce Watkins is associated with the pro-black community, just like myself. The difference is that Dr. Boyce Watkins tends to be a very pro-woman, which nothing is wrong with that. I've seen many brothers in the pro-black community take that position. Dr. Umar Johnson, you've seen it, certain elements of Louis Farrakhan, although he's more balanced, I will give him that. Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Sonetter. A lot of the brothers are pro-woman, okay? And I don't have an issue with that. I have a certain level of being pro-woman myself, okay? Black women are the women in our community. They do deserve to be respected just like black men. But Dr. Boyce Watkins, some people feel that he goes overboard, okay? So let me play this clip and then I'm going to come back.
And I want to ask y'all a question. First off, like, can we just take a moment before we begin, and can we sort of give an acknowledgement to the brilliant black women in our community that are kicking ass and taking names? Just say we love you. So let's say something. Let's say words of support for black women, because I think black women are beaten up on a lot in our society. I think black women are disrespected and mistreated. All those things are true, and I think it's very important that we as black men in particular take a moment to really just acknowledge the women who raised us, the women who gave birth to us, the women who have held it down for us, the women who have fought on our behalf. Let's just do that, okay? That up there. That's the black woman in my life, so I'm gonna make sure I give her proper credit with her, sharing her platform. If you guys want to go check her out, she's a licensed therapist.
So that is Boyce Watkins again praising black women. Now, let me just say this: Dr. Boyce Watkins always, it seems to me, has a big fundamental problem, if you ask me, with people who have critical ideologies about what goes on with black women. Kevin Samuels, people like, I would say myself, although he's never mentioned that about me, but just, you know, in general, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and then those men who don't want to be stepdads. Dr. Boyce Watkins takes umbrage with them, okay? Now, that's very interesting because he put out this particular stream called A Warning to Any Man Who Has Kids, She Could Be Lying. Now, Dr. Boyce Watkins is going to drop some interesting information here. I want you to hear this.
And also my thought to women is, I think it's extremely important to think carefully. Any woman who loves her kids is going to think extremely carefully about who she lets into her body. I have seen so many children have their heart broken because their daddy was garbage. And they're looking at their mother thinking, why did you choose to get impregnated by a piece of garbage? You know, that one guy who could have been more reliable, who could have been a great dad. You didn't pick him because he didn't seem fly enough and have enough swag and didn't wear alligator shoes and didn't say the right thing to you when you got together, went out on a date. He didn't smell good with the sexy cologne or whatever. So literally my whole future has been altered because you wanted to be with the man who had a lot of swag. Like that's just so crazy to me. That's something very basic. Or the man who played hard to get, or the man who was a little cuter than the other guy. I just really think that's fascinating. That to me is the ultimate butterfly effect, where literally a child's whole life, their whole reality, their experiences over the next 50 years have been altered because their mother thought one guy was too much of a nerd and too boring, and the other guy was interesting and exciting. But the interesting, exciting guy broke your heart, abandoned your child, didn't provide resources, made your child live a life where they feel abandoned, hurt, lonely, sad, and they go through life looking for love in all the wrong places because you did not provide that kid with a father who actually cares about them enough to be there for them on a consistent basis. I just really think this is something where we don't think carefully enough about it. Obviously, it's a wealth conversation too. I think there's nothing wrong with a woman having certain expectations and standards of the types of men that she would even sleep with.
So guys, you've heard what he says there, okay? Now, this is very interesting to me, and I'm going to tell you why this is very interesting, because Dr. Boyce Watkins is pointing out the issue that is happening in Black America. We all see this issue, okay? He's not lying. Ladies choosing the wrong man, and also not choosing the right man for a child and the child suffering. But at the same time, Dr. Boyce Watkins has a problem with those men who don't want to be stepdads to many of those same women he is describing. And any man who talks about that truth is often ridiculed by Dr. Boyce Watkins. You will hear a lot of shaming language. You will hear a lot of, all kind of weird back talk and things like that. Just things that don't make any sense, right? But this is what you get from guys who go back and forth. And the reality is that men like Dr. Boyce Watkins have a very difficult time attracting black men to their platform. And the reason why that is because many of these guys are just disingenuous. And whenever a black man speaks in the same tonality that he's speaking, it's perceived that the black man is a hater. He dislikes black women. All of these things. But if Dr. Boyce Watkins points it out clearly, then it's okay. For sure, it's fine. Because, he doesn't hate black women. He loves them. So he can criticize them. Have you guys ever noticed that when it comes to guys like Dr. Boyce Watkins, or if it comes to guys like Dr. Umar Johnson, only they can have those criticisms of sisters because, they passed a course in, don't hate black women and all of that. And then at the same time, if you do so, it's castigating them. The reality is that what Boyce just talked about, these are facts. He understands that it's facts. He knows this is the truth. Okay? So then what is the problem towards black men? The reality is that, again, Boyce Watkins needs to make money. Boyce Watkins is not masculine enough to really attract black men to his platforms to do a lot of things. So women are the ones who buy whatever courses he sells and things like that. The reality is this, okay? For brothers like Dr. Umar, Boyce Watkins, having this lukewarm mentality towards the black community is not going to make anything work. It is clear that we have women who have a problem, and that problem exists because they have a problem. That is not tied to black men. We can blame many things on black men, but the lack of female accountability in pro-black spaces have really caused a big chagrin towards pro-blacks or the pro-black movement, Back to Africa, Pan-African, all of those things. And Dr. Boyce is right along in there with it. It doesn't make sense. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.